It's 11 p.m. on a Tuesday. You just finished your 9 to 5, grabbed dinner, and now you're opening your laptop to start your side hustle. You're driving for Uber on weekends, doing freelance graphic design, selling stuff on Etsy, hustling, as they call it. Everyone tells you this is the path to wealth. Extra income, multiple streams, build your empire. Last month, your side hustles brought in $847. You worked an extra 60 hours. You feel productive. But what if I told you that side hustle just cost you $10,000 in lost wealth and possibly years off your life? My name is Bobby, and today we're going to do the math that the hustle culture influencers don't want you to see. If you're working a side hustle while ignoring what actually builds wealth, hit that subscribe button, because we're about to expose why grinding yourself into the ground is keeping you poor. Here's what nobody tells you about side hustles. They have a hidden tax, and I'm not talking about income tax. The real cost is time, energy, health, opportunity, the things you can't get back. Let's break down your $847 side hustle income. You worked 60 extra hours. That's $14.12 per hour. But wait, your Uber hustle requires gas, car maintenance, insurance. That's about $180 in costs. Your freelance work required software subscriptions, $50. Your Etsy shop has fees and shipping, $70. Total expenses, $300. Your real income is $547. Your real hourly rate is now $9.12. You're working extra hours for less than minimum wage in many states. But it gets worse. Those 60 hours, you could have used them to sleep. 8 extra hours of sleep per week. Sleep deprivation reduces cognitive function, increases stress, and shortens your lifespan. What's that worth? You could have used those hours to learn a high-value skill that increases your main income. A $5,000 raise at your main job is worth more than $847 per month in side hustle income, forever. You could have used those 60 hours to network, build relationships, position yourself for promotion. But here's the biggest cost. Those 60 hours could have been spent with family, friends, living your life. You traded watching your kids grow up for $9.12 per hour. Was it worth it? Now let's talk about what you could have done with those 60 hours if you understood real wealth building. You could have spent 10 hours learning to invest. That knowledge compounds for life. Let's say you took that $847 and instead of spending it, invested in an index fund. At 10% annual return, after 30 years, that single month's hustle becomes $14,786. But you can't do that every month because you're too exhausted from hustling to think strategically. The person who worked those 60 hours instead to get a $10,000 raise invested that extra income. That's $833 extra per month every month without working extra hours, forever. After 30 years of investing that raise, they have $1.8 million. You have burnout and maybe $200,000. But Bobby, you're thinking, I need the money now. I have bills. I can't wait for raises and investments. I get it, but here's the truth. If you need side hustle income to survive, your main problem isn't income, it's expenses. The average American spends $400 per month on things they don't need: subscriptions, eating out, impulse purchases. If you cut $400 in waste and put it toward debt or investing, you don't need a side hustle. But cutting expenses requires discipline. Side hustling lets you avoid hard conversations with yourself about spending. It's easier to work 60 extra hours than to tell yourself you can't afford that $8 latte every day. This is the real trap. Side hustles become an excuse for financial irresponsibility. I can afford it because I have side hustle money. No, you're trading your life for consumption. Let me show you the real math of side hustle economics. You work 40 hours at your main job making $25 an hour. You take on a side hustle for 20 hours at $15 an hour. You're making $300 extra per week. Seems good. But now you're working 60 hours total. Your effective hourly rate dropped from $25 to $21.67. You're working 50% more hours for only 30% more money. Your time is becoming less valuable. Meanwhile, the person who used those 20 hours to learn skills just got promoted, $10,000 raise. They're making $192 extra per week forever, working the same 40 hours. You're grinding 60. Here's another trap. Side hustles prevent you from being good at your main job. You're too tired to excel, too distracted to innovate, too burned out to network and get promoted. Your coworker who focuses on one job is getting promoted while you're driving Uber at night. In 5 years, they're making $80,000 at one job. You're making $55,000 plus side hustles, still grinding. But let's talk about the tax trap. That $847 in side hustle income, you're paying 30 to 40% in taxes. Side hustle income is taxed at your highest marginal rate plus self-employment tax. It's the worst kind of income. Your $847 becomes $550 after taxes. Your real hourly rate after taxes and expenses is $4.17 per hour. You're working for $4.17 per hour while sacrificing sleep, health, relationships, and career growth. Now let me show you what actually builds wealth. It's not multiple income streams. It's one high-value stream. Warren Buffett has one income source, Berkshire Hathaway. Bill Gates, Microsoft. Jeff Bezos, Amazon. They didn't side hustle their way to billions. They dominated one thing. The real wealth formula is become exceptional at one valuable thing, get paid extremely well for it. A software engineer making $150,000 beats someone making $45,000 plus $20,000 in side hustles. The engineer works 40 hours, the hustler works 70. Same total income, but one has a life. Plus, the engineer's one income source compounds. They're building expertise that makes them more valuable. The hustler's skills don't compound. Uber driving isn't making you more valuable, it's keeping you busy. Here's the strategy that actually works. Invest in yourself. Take courses, get certifications, build one valuable skill. Use that skill to get promoted or switch to a higher-paying job. One $20,000 raise beats 5 side hustles. Then invest that extra income. Let compound interest work while you sleep, not while you drive Uber. In 10 years, the focused person has $500,000 invested and a $120,000 salary working 40 hours. The hustler has $100,000 invested and makes $60,000 working 60 hours. Still hustling, still broke. One more thing about side hustles. They're addictive. You feel productive while accomplishing nothing strategic. You're confusing activity with achievement, motion with progress. You're sprinting on a treadmill. Real wealth builders work smarter, not harder. They focus, dominate, and invest. Then they rest. Stop trading your life for pennies. Stop mistaking exhaustion for accomplishment. Your side hustle isn't building wealth, it's preventing it. Focus, excel, invest. That's the formula.